Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to today's live video. It's great to see you, and please say hello and hashtag live or hashtag replay, depending on what you're watching or when you're watching, and also let us know your business name and who you are. It'd be great to hear from you in the comments box. So today's video is continuing the theme of the economic spring and how do we prepare for it and create our own spring going forward. And that's the start point for our webinar that's at 1 o'clock today. So hopefully in the comments box, you'll be able to see a link to register soon. If you're available to join us at 1 o'clock, get online and register now. We're doing a 90-minute workshop on how you can generate your own economic spring and what you need to do next to help move forward. If you're not able to join us then but want to, then drop us a message and we'll look if we can get a second session booked in for it. So today what I really wanted to cover off is what is the economic spring then? So I keep talking about this phrase of economic spring, but what on earth is it? Well, this is all about using the seasons of the year as an analogy for the economic cycle. So what we know is that in the summer, it's the boom times. It's when everything's going really well. The crops are blooming, the sun's shining, we're positive, we're happy. Although potentially we're slightly lazy in taking our holidays, maybe taking our eye off the ball slightly. Okay, so when we think about that in our business, what that means is everything's going well, we're selling lots of things, we're able to potentially launch new products in there. There's quite a lot going on, but also we're off taking our summer holidays. The business is sort of looking after itself, potentially. And then what happens is autumn comes around, and autumn is the time of harvest. It's the time when we get to really benefit from what we planted in the spring and what grew over the summer. We bring in the money, but we also have to prepare for winter, which is going to come next. So this is quite interesting because when we think about the economic crash and what's happened with coronavirus and the fact that lots of businesses out there are not able to sell anything because nobody's out and about at the minute, autumn's come around very quickly in the current scenario. Okay, we went from not knowing anything was going to be a problem to all of a sudden we're in lockdown in probably the space of 3 or 4 weeks for most businesses. So we didn't get a huge amount of time to prepare before we then hit winter. And winter is the time when the economy falls, when there's less money to be spent, sales might drop, unemployment rises typically, and the stock markets fall. And it's often a time of panic and fear for business owners. It's when we don't know what's going to happen next or how we're going to come out of it. But we have the opportunity as humans to get in control, not only of our emotions, but also of the actions we're going to take to do things differently and to be able to pivot our products, our services, and our marketing to help us in order to be able to sell more in the downtimes, but also to drive spring through as quickly as possible. So what we want to do is get the goals in place for either where we want to come out of lockdown or what we can do now that's going to change things in our business and our lives to help us to have the best spring as soon as possible and as quickly as possible. So if you're wanting to drive that economic spring, it'd be great to hear from you. Put hashtag economic spring into the comments box for us, but also think about joining our webinar, which, as I said, is 1 o'clock today. So feel free to sign up for that. We'd love to see you on the workshop. It is going to be an interactive workshop, so we're going to get business owners talking to other business owners, but also you're going to get the opportunity to do some thinking and some goal setting, as well as top tips around mindset and how you can move forwards. So the focus really for spring is all about how we can decide what to do next. What are we going to pivot to? How's our marketing going to change? What can we do now that's going to make us some money? Or if we can't do anything at the current time, what can we do going forward? And how do we make sure we're on the front foot when lockdown ends? How do we get ahead of the competition, have our plans in place, and really know how we're going to re-establish our business? So this is all about how we can put those goals in place and get the changes there. So economic spring is going to be really vibrant. It's about how we can take advantage of that, how we can get the actions in place and get the planning done to make it more successful for you and to enable you to beat the competition going forward. So I'm really looking forward to working with many of you over the coming days and weeks and helping us all get into spring as quickly as possible. So if you can share this post with anybody you think it's going to be relevant for, it'd be great to have as many people as possible involved in the workshop, but also for people to start to understand what the economic spring is about, what actions we need to take, and how we're going to move forward. So that's it for today's live video. Have a great afternoon. See you at 1 o'clock if you're joining us on the workshop, or next week in the next live event. In the meantime, have a fantastic weekend, and I look forward to speaking with you soon.